welcome to Homo Politicals. This is Enterprise Television. Kingsley Bass is my name. I'm very pleased to welcome you to the conversation today. Let's talk politics. I'm talking core politics in Nigeria, and today we turn attention to opposition politics in Nigeria as the storm within the Labour Party gets fiercer. Now, despite public denials, the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment has laid the fact bare that Julius Abure is no longer the national chairman of the Labour Party. His cross appeal was dismissed and his tenure ruled expired, at least going by the certified true copy that we have seen. Now, as party heavyweights like Peter Obi and Governor Alex Otti rally for transparency and reform, the Nigerian Labour Congress is calling too for the enforcement of the court's decision. But the Abure faction is pushing back, claiming political blackmail. As a matter of fact, there is the Nenadi Usman faction now springing forth again after some, if you like, call that some period of hiatus. But they are back and they are claiming, their, if you like, ownership or leadership of the party to that faction. So what's next for the Labour Party in this unfolding leadership crisis? Given the certified true copy of the Supreme Court's judgment that we can now see, well, let's get talking about that. Welcome again to Homo Politicals. I'm joined by someone who's very close to this matter. I'm talking about one who is part of the obedient movement in Nigeria. She's a member of the Communications Directorate, the obedient movement, Priscilla Amadi. Many thanks for joining me, Priscilla.
It's always a pleasure, Kingsley. Many thanks for having me.
Appreciate your joining the conversation today. Yeah, let's get down to the conversation. Well, the Supreme Court has ruled on this matter, and well, the finality of the Supreme Court is not in doubt, but it appears that with this verdict by the Supreme Court has come even further controversy for the Labour Party. What should have finally put the matter to rest seem to have brought about even further controversy. How do you feel about this? There's been a NEC meeting by the Abure faction that happened on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the day after that, the Nenadi Usman National Caretaker Committee held a NEC meeting to resolve things, and then again, same Wednesday, the Nenadi Usman faction of the Labour Party said they would hold their NEC meeting. So, lots happening within the Labour Party. How do you feel about this, especially at a time when the country needs a viable opposition?
It's quite disappointing, and I, just like Justice Inyangokoro, who actually delivered the Supreme Court verdict, I would love to also admonish, party members and faithful to follow the rules and guidelines and the constitutions that they all agreed they're supposed to, guide them as a party. Justice Inyang also stated in his ruling that the lower courts were actually wrong in even, letting his previous suits fly in the first place, as clearly stated in the CTC. So if we look at the situation, it's quite disappointing that internal rifts that shouldn't have happened in the first place is happening. Everyone would agree, everyone and their uncles and their cousins would agree that the tenure of Abure has expired. So I have no idea why there's a lot of, why there was even court situations in the first place, because the rules of the guiding the party is clear. There are guidelines, there are rules, and I'm very certain that at the end of the day, we'll get to the bottom of this. I would not, of course, rule out the fact that people's personal political interests, are placed above the party's, success and everything. But we need to understand that at the end of the day, justice will prevail. The true things will emerge. And at the end of the day, the true leadership that has already been recognized will emerge. We are used to all this drama. I think that for some reason, a lot of law-abiding Nigerian citizens will get into places of position and forget that there are rules and guidelines. The same rules and guidelines that brought them out seems to, not to want to like apply to them. And I'm also using this opportunity to appeal to the Abure, faction and the Lamidi Apapa faction, and whichever faction is going to come out tomorrow by 12 noon, that they should, come together, stick to the rules of the party, just like Justice Inyang Okoro admonished party members, of not just LP, of course, but various political party. Too many Nigerians' lives are at risk here. We need a viable opposition, especially in the fact that a lot of Nigerians have actually, voted no confidence in the current administration ruling the country. So we need to be able to look forward past, personal preferences, past personal political ambitions, and begin to see things in the right way, so that we can all together move forward and get this country where it needs to be, with the right kinds of people to rule it.
Interestingly, members of the political party who have spoken, talking this, several factions have said they're doing this in the best interest of the party and for the good of the nation. One then wonders which one is in the best interest of the party. I like that in your comment you did look back at the verdict of the Supreme Court, and I'd just like to say that verdict was delivered by a 5-member panel of the Supreme Court with Justice John Okoro's lead judgment, emphasizing that both the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal had no jurisdiction to address the matter. As a matter of fact, the court further dismissed Abure's cross appeal, calling that unmeritorious, while accepting the main appeal brought by Senator Nenadi Usman, the chairperson of the Labour Party's caretaker committee. Now, where does this leave? We saw that, the Senator Nenadi Usman led committee's meeting, the gathering. At some point, the governor of Abia State, while speaking, did say that, they had said some 40 to 50 persons were expected to meet, but they saw an overwhelming number of persons who he said supposedly in the interest of good governance and democracy came together to ensure unity and avoid division further following the leadership tussle in the party. But where does this leave, and which is your major concern? You're a member of the comms directorate, the communications directorate of the obedient movement, and I'm sure your major concern will be with your principal, Peter Obi. Where does this leave his chances for 2027? He's taking, at least as we know at the moment with the Labour Party, he's trying to resolve this political internal issues. Exactly, which is the way to go, right? We don't want to see politicians jumping ship from one party to another. But where does this leave him and his chances for 2027?
All right. First off, Peter Obi is like the golden bride that everyone is caught on. Weeks ago, we had the whole drama around coalition. Various parties claiming that they want to be in a coalition. You see, any political movement, party, group that doesn't have PO right now, they know that they don't have the star boy. And the current Nenadi Usman's led party of the Labour Party, which has Peter Obi and Alex Otti, who happens to be the only governor in the Labour Party elected right now, right? So they were adopted as the leaders of the party. And, the leadership also acknowledges the Senator Nenadi Usman's led committee, right? So we know that where Peter Obi is, the reason why LP became what it is today is thanks to Peter Obi. Nobody is going to even drag that right now. Peter Obi, LP became a force in the 2023 elections because of Peter Obi, and nobody's going to take that away from him. So if Peter Obi is solidly behind the leadership of Senator Nenadi Usman right now, it tells you that that's where the party is leaning towards. And that's why, I'd like to use the opportunity, to once more make an appeal to various dissenting voices left, right, and center. You see, at some point we have to look past, our personal grievances. Peter Obi's chances for the next 2027 elections are clear. The fact is this: even if Peter Obi joins end of the year party, he would still get the overwhelming support of Nigerians and young Nigerians who support him. Even if Peter Obi runs by himself and forms a Peter Obi party tomorrow, and the election is next week, you and I know that Peter Obi would be a strong force in the elections. So LP should look past whatever personal grievances they may have and come together to work with the acknowledged leadership of Senator Nenadi Usman, and then together, whatever rifts they have, let's look forward. Because the fact is this: things are not getting easier for the everyday human being that live in Nigeria. Things are not getting easier for citizens in the country. The citizens need to be able to, take their country back, and we can't do that either in LP or PDP or FSB or Labour Party or whatever vehicle that our principal Peter Obi chooses. So Peter Obi being in Labour Party is worth of a plus, and every Labour Party politician knows that. So they should be able to call these people to order and let us all together build this party. Peter Obi has the obedience. The Obedience are one of the strongest political force right now in not just Nigeria, in Africa. So yes, and as a member of the Comms Directorate of Obedience Movement, we are telling the current Labour Party, the current party members and faithfuls to look past their personal desires and build a party with PO. And wherever Peter Obi is definitely where the sure bets are. I mean, for those that bet, they know how they do the whole betting thingy, is where the surety is, wherever Peter Obi is. And again, unarguably one of the best performing governors in Nigeria right now is in Labour Party, and that is His Excellency Alex Otti. So if Alex Otti and Peter Obi are solidly behind Nenadi Usman, recall the last time there was a convention, Alex Otti hosted the party in his state. I don't know if you recall that. And that was where Senator Nenadi Usman was acknowledged and giving the lead chairman of the caretaker committee, right? So I think that wherever PO is where the obedience movement will go. And as a very strong member of the obedience movement, I tell you solemnly, we go nowhere. It's Peter Obi or nothing.
No one can deny the passion and confidence with which you speak, but there are still major concerns, though, especially for the obedient movement in Nigeria and the chances of Peter Obi in 2027, considering now that, again, we saw this in the build-up and indeed post-2023 general election, where the Lamidi Papa faction of the party did pose some level of opposition even to the presidential candidate of the party. That seemed to be the direction the Lamidi Papa faction is going again. Do you think that there won't be even further problems now? Well, with what we saw in 2023, maybe that distorted the numbers and the chances that your principal had. Maybe not. We cannot say categorically. But then, with the emergence or re-emergence, it feels like they were sleeping and now they are back. Lamidi Papa is back, saying he's the true leader of the party. What do you say again about what he's doing, what his faction, his followers are doing, and the chances of the Labour Party indeed Peter Obi in the forthcoming elections?
Oh yes, everybody understands Mr. Lamidi Papa is an elderly man, so I would accord him the respect of being an elderly man. Again, the last time we had this fiasco, that was around the court time, when we went to court. The whole drama was around leadership. And again, it still boils down back to these concerns about, members of parties not sticking to rules and regulations that they created. Yeah. And if you look at the situation right now, Mr. Lamidi Apapa always tends to resurrect whenever he thinks that there's a chance for him to hijack the leadership of the party. The leadership of the party is not just made for him and his friends. It's made for the whole party. And every single time he thinks that there's a rift, he comes out of the woodworks. Every single time. His consistency is actually very, very interesting to watch. But here's what I love that Mr. Peter Obi has said, and he said it during the recent meeting that was held yesterday by the party, the members, and also the members that actually acknowledge the leadership of Senator Nenadi Usman. He said that right now we will do the right thing. He also clearly stated that the right thing will be done to put in the right officials that are chosen in various cadres and various capacity within the party. So you see that Peter Obi is coming in now and stating, okay, enough with the hijack, enough with the drama. Let's go back to base and build. And we all know how Mr. Lamidi Apapa's pattern is. We know that it will fizzle out again. One thing I must commend is the fantastic chair he sat down. It still had his nylon. I'm certain that maybe he would take it back to wherever he got it from. But what we are begging Mr. Lamidi Apapa to do for us is this. He should, walk along with members of the party and put away his own personal pride or his personal ambition, and work together with the party. That's what we'd love to see as obedient movements. As obedient, we'd love to see that people putting aside their personal decisions and knowing that things are not fair for Nigerians, and Nigerians would love some opposition.
Just before we let you go, Peter Obi did call yesterday, warning more like that Nigeria is in a state of collapse, and the vice presidential candidate in the election in 2023 as well, Dati Baba Ahmed, did speak to, saying Labour Party is the only opposition in the country at the moment. But how can a party still struggling with this internal crisis offer the leadership needed to address the national emergency that we currently face as a nation?
Okay, interesting. The dynamics of the Labour Party is very interesting. Labour Party is the only party that has an organic movement solidly behind it, right? So whatever happens within the party has never truly affected the organic movement, which played a major role in disrupting, the way elections are being done in the 2023 elections. You can't call 2023 elections and not mention the obedience, yeah? So the obedience are solidly behind the Labour Party because our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, is in the party. Right? So the dynamics of the Labour Party does not affect the way the obedient movement run. It's parallel. But here's also what is very, very interesting. When it comes to politics and political parties, internal rifts are normal. In fact, I think that they spend, after political cycles, most political parties spend most of their time fighting against themselves till the next election cycle. It's a typical occurrence. If you look at the CTC of the verdict given by the Justice Okoro-led party, he specifically admonished parties. Even the Supreme Court is tired of all these internal rifts by people who won't stick to rules and regulations. So they won't stop. It didn't start today. It won't stop tomorrow. But one thing that the Labour Party has as an edge over most political parties is that we have an obedient movement that does not have internal rifts. It's so organic that everyone who aligns to the principles of the obedience just simply keys in. It's not like you have to go to Supreme Court to settle things in the obedient movement.
All right.
Tomorrow, anywhere Peter Obi ends in, that is where we are all going to. So yes, I would also use this opportunity.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna, I don't know what opportunity we're going to use, but I was going to say finally, just before we let you go, you did mention something about where your principle might be. It sounds like there could be that talks around coalition, the strong, and it could leave the Labour Party merged with another political party. Is that something that you think could happen? Would you like that to happen as well? And where would you like to see him go?
My stance is clear. we've seen coalitions like this turn out and bring out the candidate that nobody wants, right? We have seen how coalition used to silence the most needed party candidates. And I can remember the coalition of 2015, right, where Buhari emerged, people of various interests, joining together. And then, if you recall, during that 2015 coalition, Buhari emerged as the winner of that coalition, followed next by Kwankwaso, if I recall my memory serving me right. But that's not even the case. Here's the thing. Peter Obi has clearly stated, and I completely agree. He said he's not going to be behind any coalition that does not put the people first. He's not interested in any coalition for now. And I stand solidly behind it. You can't be a Nigerian and a solid observer of Nigerian politics and not know that when they talk about coalition is because they want to find a way to push some people in a box. Peter Obi refuses to be in any box. And he says clearly, and I stand by it, he said he's not going to be in any coalition that does not put the people first. Any coalition that has any other interest apart from the growth of the country. And you and I know that when you agree to terms of coalitions, it means that whatever magic that they come up with, because you have previously agreed, you are bound by it. Mr. Peter Obi does not need to be in a coalition for him to be loved by Nigerians. Obedient movements are not in any coalition, right? And their obedient movement is made up of major open members and silent members. In fact, you'll be very shocked that even members of the coalition party. Go on. I'm
just going to say so that we can let you
go on. You were about to say something.
Yeah, just very quickly, finally, so that we can let you go, so that I don't have to say finally again. And that's a fact that that's a fact that for many persons, they think that this coalition needs to happen, considering the numbers that they saw, or that we saw in 2023, the division of these numbers. As a matter of fact, if you met just numbers of the second and third candidates, your principal came third, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP came second, and then the incumbent president came first. If you measure the numbers of the second and the third candidate, it is way more than what the first candidate got. And so some people think that if there's going to be a merger, some coming together of these forces, that could, maybe shake things a lot more, and to ensure that, as we saw in 2015, they seize power from the governing party. I'd like to get your final thought on that, and that thought about silent obedience as well. Do you think that in 2027 the obedient movement can build on the momentum gathered in 2023 and do better? Because it feels like that the momentum gathered, it feels like it's been reduced, like the tempo has reduced, and you don't know if Peter Obi can get that much support anymore.
I promise you, you have no idea. The momentum is now double what it used to be. You see, the thing is, the obedient movement are made up of Nigerians who are fed up, right? And the amazing thing about the obedient movement is the fact that the Nigerians we don't have to register, you don't have to, it's organic, right? If you wake up and you're tired of the status quo, you're tired of being taken for granted, you just simply decide in your heart to support the Peter Obi led candidacy. You see, the obedient movement is made up of individuals that cut across political parties, tribe, religion, beliefs, ideologies. You don't need to take a registration form. So that's the interesting thing about obedient movement, and it's obedience in Lagos that delivered Lagos, right? In a Lagos state that everybody felt that it was going to be slam dunk for the ruling party's candidate. We saw what happened, even with the malpractices and the electoral terrorism that happened. Peter Obi still emerged the leader. So, and I agree with you with something you just said. You said the momentum that is being done in 2023, do you think it will spill over to 2027? The momentum never stopped. We're not going anywhere. And in the words of Ayo Fayose, the current obedience that supporters of Peter Obi are not going anywhere. And hello, I'm one of them, a happy Nigerian citizen who is happy to, be a part of the movement. And to answer your initial question, which was basically, what was your initial question?
Well, the coalition and the need for those forces to come together to to beat the governing party?
Thank you. Now, the reason why people feel like we need a coalition is because of the fact that because of the fact of the electoral terrorism and the fact that there's a lot of irregularities with the elections in 2023. Anyone, even the blind, knows that there were a lot of irregularities. Till now, as we speak, those irregularities are still captured in your IREV. That the current president is the most unpopular president